The Natural Resource Defense Council works every day to ensure healthy lives for children and families across the country. They stated that nearly 37 million children live in areas with unhealthy, polluted air, and many pollutant toxins associated illnesses are continuing to rise. It is crazy to think that throwing recyclables in a bin can help decrease these statistics and lower the rate of children growing up with illnesses related to our toxic air. Recycling not only helps our health in reducing global warming, but also saves money, reduces landfills, protects our natural resources, saves energy and water, but ultimately makes our planet last longer. That is why recycling should become mandatory for U.S. citizens, because recycling is one of the easiest things you can do to help our environment. Clean and abundant waters is what we will need to survive. It is the basis of our lives and for living in a healthy community. The NRDC says we are heading towards a water crisis. Changing climate patterns are threatening lakes, rivers, and key areas that we rely on to tap into our water for drinking, because they are starting to be overtaken with pollution. When people don't recycle, majority of their time, the trash ends up in waterways, not only affecting our drinking water, but also America's wildlife. Our oceans are turning into a recycling trash bin itself. Plastics that could be recycled are ending up being choked on by marine animals and leaving long-term impacts of pollutants in fish, which then affects us. Pollution in the waterway does not just hurt animals, but also puts humans' health at risk. Plastic pollution also costs a ton for taxpayers and government, which then have the responsibility to clean these dirty waterways and beaches to protect their citizens' health. The NRDC analyzed, even before this rising worldwide issue 20 years ago, that California's communities found their total reported costs for preventing litter to be at $428 million a year, and these numbers are only increasing. The Great Green Business Guides estimated that recycling 75% of the nation's waste will create nearly 1.5 million jobs by 2030. This report shows that increasing our recycling rate will both conserve our natural resources and create jobs, with a significant amount of these jobs being in manufacturing. People don't realize the value of what they throw out, and everything can be used twice, no matter what it may be. It takes less energy to process and produce recycled materials in bottles than it is to process something from the start. Using recycled material cuts this process in half. Recycling saves trees and things like oils, fuel, and coal, which are all non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources do have the power to produce large amounts of energy, but the problem is that these sources deplete and become used up in the process. The sources also pollute the environment and have lethal effects while our plastics are being made. This hurts not plant and animals, but the human life as well. By saving energy in this industrial production through recycling, greenhouse gas emissions from factories and plants are also decreased. I feel the biggest problem with recycling is that people don't understand the impacts that it causes, except for looking at it as a huge inconvenience for them. But what is a few minutes to take a day when you already take the time to put your garbage to the curb? Citizens also don't think that throwing a few bottles a day in the recycling bin opposed to a garbage will do any huge impacts for the country. But if every day people recycled everything they could, landfill waste could also be reduced. Another huge issue is the education on this topic, understanding where your garbage goes and what happens to it when it is thrown out. Landfills are mostly made of non-biodegradable things, which takes years to decompose, so it makes them fill up very quickly. When people recycle, we lessen the amount of waste that are put into these landfills. So you should ask yourself, what happens when all of these landfills fill up? Where will your garbage go? Recycling different products will help the environment. For example, we know that paper comes from trees, and many trees are being cut down just to produce paper. By recycling it, we can help lessen the number of trees that are cut down. Products made from raw materials that come from our natural resources should be recycled so that we can help preserve the environment. You can also help this cause by watching what you purchase. The U.S. has hundreds of companies that rely on recycled products, So next time you're at the grocery store, think of the thousands of trees that are being cut down for your products and look for something that manufacturers use clean recycled content. As the population of the world increases and as technology and products are advancing, recycling is needed now more than ever. With today's society, it's creating more products, meaning more packaging that can be abiding and take hundreds of years to break down. In order to fight the rise of this worldwide issue of recycling, citizens need to become more environmentally conscious to make healthier habits to make our planet last.